This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas, the South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Join Jeff Parles and Alex White.
One of my favorite plays here is getting 2 touchdowns with Florida State.
Even though the total's been batted down a little bit, I still think it's okay to go under.
Chris Andrews and Vinny Magliulo.
I don't think this is a great Kansas City team that the Chargers win this game.
All right.
If you see a hook here, it's not going to last long.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Are we sure either of these quarterbacks are good?
Hell no, we're not sure.
Bet your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming live on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It is a Thursday edition of Sports by the Book. I'm Jeff Parles, and alongside me, a champion. Now part of the Aviator family who won the Pacific Coast League yesterday. They'll play on Saturday at Las Vegas Ballpark against the winner of the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, that's the Yankees, and the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, which is the best name in minor league baseball. Sorry, Aviators, on that. But, Alex, Aviators win the PCL last night.
Yes, they did. Only took 2 games. It was the best of 3 versus Tacoma, a 7-3 victory for Las Vegas. So, pretty exciting. They won the first half, had a fantastic first half, great record. It was a little bit of a struggle the second half, but for them to come out and just take the first 2 and not even worry about a game 3 was pretty impressive. Championship game Saturday, as you mentioned, we do not know the opponent yet. I think the Yankees might help ticket sales, but you're right. Having the Jumbo Shrimp here would be pretty awesome.
What a name. What a name. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Love it. So we got a good show here today. And again, congratulations to everyone associated. A lot of our staff, of course, Ann, Ryan, also up at the ballpark as well. Drew Dog up there as well. Obviously, you and our old friend Frank Nicotero, you would see on-field entertainment during the game. So congratulations to everyone in the Aviator family. And Matt Neverett, shout out Matt Neverett. How could I forget the Nevada Sports Broadcaster of the Year as well on the play-by-play for the Aviators.
And to Fran Reardon, the manager, I truly believe one of the best in the minor leagues. So fantastic job by him. Over
20 years, right? It's been a long while since they won the PCL. And they get it done last night. 2-game sweep over Tacoma. All right, let's go to the football field, the gridiron. By the way, our friend Dwayne Colucci will be with us in about 10 minutes from now. We'll get his thoughts on everything football-wise this week. But let's begin in Phoenix, or technically Glendale tonight. The Arizona Cardinals hosting the Seattle Seahawks. For Arizona, James Conner's season is over, so it's now running back by committee. That will be led by Trey Benson and Amari DeMarcado moving forward in the backfield. Again, the Conner news shouldn't have moved it, but I think more that Seattle has looked more the part than Arizona through 3 weeks, has moved this to Seattle being a short road favorite here tonight at 1.5 and a total of 43 on this game, Alex.
Well, and how they come into this game, right? Because both of them 2-1, as you mentioned, it's pretty ironic that we already have a sample size where both of these teams have played 2 of the same teams. And of course, we saw Seattle start out against the Niners and could have easily won that game tight, low-scoring game, 17-13. And now we just see Arizona come into this one off of a loss to San Francisco. So maybe that's what's in people's head, and just the way that Seattle was able to handle the Saints, 44-13. It was really never in doubt with that one. And we saw Arizona try and let the Saints hang on, right, in the first week. So if you're going off of that and comparing, but I do think it is pretty much a coin flip here. I'm actually excited to watch this game. I'm excited to see what these teams really are. I don't feel like we have a good grasp just yet. Besides the defensive side, I think we've seen a lot of improvement from both teams, both defensive-minded head coaches, and I think that's where they have shined so far this year. Let's see how the offenses play, though.
Seattle's defense is the best unit in this game, but I just want to bring something up real quick. Sam Darnold's played well the last 2 weeks after week one where, look, that Niner defense just might be really good. We saw the Niner defense last week, maybe a little different now that Nick Bosa's season's over with the torn ACL, but Seahawks were in that game the whole way. Cardinals were in that game the whole way last week against San Francisco. But Darnold's been great the last 2 weeks. And, I'll just say this with the New Orleans thumping last week. First road game for the Saints. Yeah. Just a scenario more so than anything where I think that New Orleans was due for a whipping after being competitive against the Cardinals and the Niners. Again, the Saints with the NFC West trio to begin the season as well. But, I'm going to stay out of this completely on the side in total. I think everything feels about right. I want to see how the Arizona offense now looks without James Conner there. I want to see if there's any sort of consistency from the receiving core, which just has not been there so far. Wilson has 9 yards receiving through 3 games. They're supposed to be their number 2 receiver. Harrison has been wildly inconsistent to begin the year. I just don't know what I'm getting out of this Arizona team, and they're going on offense, and they're going up against an elite defense tonight.
And I think that all that you just said right there, Jeff, leads me to the tight end. I think that Trey McBride is the most reliable weapon that Kyler Murray has. So I would only be looking at Trey McBride. And if you look at his numbers, I mean, his biggest games were against some of the toughest opponents. And he did get in the end zone against San Francisco, didn't have as many yards, but he got in the end zone. And I think that they're going to try and target him and get him open for sure, especially when, like you mentioned, no James Conner. They're going to have to lean on the guys that they can. I actually think from both sides, it would only be JSN from the Seahawks side, and it would only be Trey McBride. I think the whole league is watching Thursday night. Only these two teams playing. We're going to see the best players step up for sure.
There's the anytime touchdown market. DraftKings and FanDuel have them up. Oh, boy. I don't think the market really knows what to do with the Arizona running backs still. Benson, you can get a plus price. DeMarcado, you can get a big price, over $4. I think you're going to see a lot of him. Torrey Horton, who scored twice last week upon return and a receiving touchdown at 4-1 on the Seattle side. Kenneth Walker's much better than Charbonnet, but there's been an insistence on using Charbonnet in the red zone, which I don't quite understand. So, again, weird pricing here tonight. McBride, who, of course, we knew last year just couldn't find the end zone until the end of the year, despite his spectacular year. Scored a touchdown last week. He's plus 180. I will say this. If we're looking for wild shots here tonight, we're looking for wild shots. Tip Raymond, the backup tight end for Arizona's 14-1. I don't mind that at small pizza money. If we're going to go real wild there. I know you were saying you're kind of looking at the defenses here tonight, both plus 750.
Yeah, both plus 750. I know you could just grab both here at the South Point. I believe it's over 2-1, but if you just put a little bit on each defense to score a touchdown at 750, I don't hate that bet at all. I'll get into my actual play for the game later on after we have our good friend Dwayne Colucci, but that's kind of where I'm leaning, right? I think this is going to be a defensive battle.
Plus 240, by the way, is the number here at the South Point for a defensive or special team score here tonight at the South Point. Real quick, one other look at props here, quarterback-wise. Of course, we got Darnold and Kyler Murray going at it tonight. I've liked what I've seen from Sam to begin the year. Again, obviously the magical year last year that ended in just a horror show in the playoff game and the Week 18 loss to Detroit. Darnold here tonight. 19 and a half completions feels awfully, awfully low. I understand that's what the Seahawks want to do. They want to run the ball, but 19 and a half completions. Doesn't that feel low tonight here, Alex?
Yeah, it does. And thinking about both quarterbacks, I was thinking that I'd want to highlight Seattle in the passing game because Arizona's much better up front, right? Their secondary is a little questionable, and they've been dealing with some injuries there. So I think they're going to try to attack that. And I think that they definitely have the guys that can get it done with Sam Darnold. So it would only be the passing side for him. I don't mind that one at all. Now, he only had one road game so far, but did throw 2 picks there too. So they might want to try and protect him as well because, like you mentioned, great first 3 games, completing 70% of his passes, but there's still room for error, and they are on the road here. So that's the only thing that would hold me back a little bit.
Yeah, again, these quarterback props tonight are a little bit difficult as we'll flip over to the Kyler Murray side here in a second. 211 and a half passing yards, the number here at the South Point. Completions, another low number at 21 and a half. I don't know, Alex. This is a good Seattle defense. I just wonder what I really need to see Arizona's offense now without their number 1 running back and, again, being at Benson and DeMercado here tonight.
What's his rushing yards at?
Uh-huh.
That's the way I would want to play Kyler Murray tonight. I think he can scramble. I think he will take opportunities when needed. I could see, fourth quarter, him getting a lot of yards here. So I would be looking at rushing yards for Kyler Murray.
Rushing yards here tonight for Murray. It's over at DK 25 plus is minus 155. So 28 and a half right now on Kyler Murray, give or take, right? 28 and a half. Is that the right number? Yeah, 28 and a half.
I was hoping for just
Murray.
a 25, but
yeah, it's a juice 25 if you want it here tonight. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, our good friend Dwayne Colucci joins us from the Rampart. We'll get his thoughts on tonight. We'll get his thoughts on how early he'll be up on Sunday morning for Dublin action in the NFL and a great weekend of college football ahead with our guy DC. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. And now joining us, our good friend Dwayne Colucci, race and sportsbook director up at the Rampart in Summerlin, Las Vegas. DC, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
It's good. It's good to see you as always. Let's Let's go to tonight. Obviously, your book will be packed up for the Seahawks and the Cardinals here on a Thursday night. Two teams, 2-1. DC, Seattle, a 1.5 favorite. What are we looking up at your shop here tonight?
Well, we saw a flip-flop of favorites, so obviously the money is on Seattle. The ticket count, I'm looking at it right now, it's more than 2-1 in favor of the Seahawks. And like you said, Jeff, Donald has looked very solid these first couple of weeks, and, a true testament to his will. A lot of people were down on him after the playoff performance and the final 3 weeks of last season, but obviously Seattle made the right move. They got a quality quarterback back there, and, this is a heavy-hitting matchup. Very entertaining. Hard to get a read on the Cardinals, though. We're going to see how that offense is able to move the ball down the field. They should be able to against Seattle, but this is a tough spot for the Cardinals, in my opinion. A lot of pressure, especially at home.
Dwayne, I'm curious, what are we looking at ticket count and money-wise for the total?
The total currently, Alex, we're seeing a good, a significant amount on the over with the parlay. So 43 is the total currently, seeing about a 5-1 ticket count, but that's mostly parlays and teasers. Some of the sharp straight action was actually on the under, but most of the parlays and teasers are on the over. This is a very low total, which makes me skeptical. I think this could be a tighter defensive game than we anticipate. Definitely Donald is capable of airing it out and opening it up, as is Kyler Murray, but I think this is going to be more of a punting battle and a field positional game.
Dwayne, let's go to Sunday morning, and now when I say Sunday morning, I mean it. On Sunday morning. Hey, look, you got a nice.
Get up at 5 a.m. Why you got to bring this game?
Hey, my friend, you got a month. You got a month straight of this with the London games coming up the next week after this.
Why? Why?
And then you got Germany and Spain in November,
Ooh.
Dwayne. There you go. Perfect.
You know what it is? It's 4 countries that I have never visited and probably never will in my lifetime. So,
we just Dwayne, we just need a game in Rome next year. That's all it is, right?
Well, then you might.
We just need that. Get the get the Brajola for breakfast on if we go in Rome. All right, Dwayne, Vikings and Steelers. Of course, Carson Wentz in line to start again for Minnesota. They dominated thanks to their defense, and Wentz was solid last week in that domination of Cincinnati. Steelers are very lucky to win. They were almost doubled up in yardage, but still won it in New England last week. Now here in Ireland, Vikings just shy of 3. It moved off that 3 to 2.5 and a 41 in this one.
Yeah, tough game to handicap. I mean, Carson Wentz, he gets in that same Joe Flacco mold where they're good game managers, but how good are they, as the season wears on? How many games could you count on these guys? JJ is going to be sidelined this week, probably another week, but definitely a tough game for both teams. Steelers needed to win last week. I definitely said that and made that as a point. I think just to jockey for position in that division, they definitely needed this win, and now they fly to Europe. We'll see how Aaron Rodgers handles that. They were doubled up on yardage, which is very surprising. The Pittsburgh defense has got a lot of holes, so I think Minnesota might be able to exploit them. Jefferson's going to be definitely looking to connect deep, and Wentz could get the ball downfield if he's asked to, but, it's not like JJ, and I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. You're seeing 41 on the total. We're looking at a ticket count there of about 5-1 on the over, which is somewhat shocking. I think this is more of an under game that's going to play out. And the money is very tight in this game, I'll be honest with you guys, and the ticket count. So these Europe games are always hard to handicap. You don't know who's going to travel well. You don't know, the itinerary of these teams, how much sightseeing they're doing, how much practicing they're doing. I know Mike Tomlin is definitely one of the top coaches in the NFL, so he's going to have his team prepared as well as Minnesota. So this is a no opinion for me. This is a tough game, but at least it's an entertaining matchup at 6:30 a.m. on the West Coast. I know the East Coasters will be all, geared up because it's early in the morning, but this is like real early here in Las Vegas.
Let's go to the only matchup where both teams are undefeated, and the Bucs have kind of paid a price for those 3 wins. They come into this one pretty beat up, getting 3.5 against Philly, who was pretty fortunate to get that win over the Rams. Total 43.5. Any opinion in this one?
Yeah, I think the Eagles really flexed in the second half last week, Alex. The adjustments were incredible. I knew that A.J. Brown was going to go into that locker room lighting Jalen Hurts up just because of the fact that he had like 1 or 2 targets in the first half. And then he exploded and had a monster game. And that's what Philadelphia is capable of. Jalen Hurts has to, drop this, I'm the whole offense type of mentality. Basically, in the first half, he had taken Saquon and A.J. Brown out of the game because he was using his legs. He was making decisions to tuck and run. Once he decided to pass and open things up, Philadelphia looked like the Super Bowl champions that they are. I definitely think, like you said, the Bucs are very banged up here. Wide receiver position is starting to become thin with Evans now on the shelf. He's definitely Baker's a gamer, and I love his mentality going into these big games. I think the Eagles are going to win this matchup, though. That's why you're seeing 3 and a hook as opposed to the key number of 3, Alex. I like the Eagles in this position. Ticket count right now is about 2.5 to 1 in favor of the Eagles. Money is about slightly, a little more than slight, but in favor of the Eagles, but not 2 to 1 yet. So keep that in mind. A lot of people have faith in Baker Mayfield. He's definitely come up big in these situations in the past, and he's capable of another big performance. He's been solid.
Dwayne, I want to go to the Meadowlands where Jackson Dart is going to be making.
Well, they're actually running turf racing now. It's Monmouth at Meadowlands. So
okay. You just have to go across the parking lot.
You know how many day-nighters, Jeff, I used to do? I used to go to Aqueduct, and then I go right to the Meadowlands for the evening racing. It just the degenerate that I am horse racing, but it's a lot of fun. I'll tell you the truth. The Meadowlands is a great place, and I haven't gone to MetLife. I've definitely been to the old stadium. Got to make that on my bucket list to check out the new facility, and also the new facility at the Meadowlands racetrack because they switched that around totally. So definitely got to get there.
So I'll just tell you, you don't need to see MetLife. It's a soulless place, but that's okay. And it's not because the teams stink there. The building's not good. Chargers 6.5. They're 3-0. They went 3-0 in the AFC West. Very impressive from LA. And then, of course, Giants are starting a rookie. First NFL start for Jackson Dart. And Dwayne, are we going to see a 7 in this game, do you think?
It's possible. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Ticket count is 5 to 1 in favor of the Chargers. Money is 3 to 1. So, yeah, I could definitely see it getting there. I mean, Jackson Dart, there's a lot of pressure. With the whole thing with Dable, every time he brought him in the game for these series, he never passed the ball. It was just handing off or him running. So I think Dable is just a horrible coach. And when you put Harbaugh on the other side of the field, he's going to get out-coached every time. He just doesn't know what to do. He's not appealing to his players. You see neighbors can't stand them. Maybe they should have went to Jameis, I'll be honest with you, to get the ball to Neighbors. And his back status has also been a question this whole season so far. He looked great against Dallas, looked horrible last week, did Neighbors. Let's see if he steps it up. But I could easily see this game going to 7. The Chargers are all of a sudden the darling of the NFL. Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. But don't be sold yet. That was a very tough fought victory. I thought Denver was actually the better team last week. They got some huge calls. I mean, you look at the penalty discrepancy, it was like 12 to 2 in favor of the Chargers, where Denver took so many stupid penalties, and it ended up biting them in the butt in the end. I still think that division is one of the toughest divisions in football with the Chiefs, the Chargers, and Denver. So there's a lot of football to be played, but this is a game the Chargers must win, and they mark these games on their calendar where they could open up the lead even further, especially if Kansas City loses to Baltimore in the big matchup. So the Chargers are probably going to blow them out in this game. I'll be honest with you.
We're not getting to the big matchup just yet. I won't make you talk about this game for too long. I just want your thoughts and maybe where the money is. 2 0-3 teams, and it's a pretty big surprise that the Texans are coming into this one winless. The Titans, it's going to take some time there. 7-point favorite at home, and the total 38.5.
Not seeing much action on this game, Alex, I'll be honest with you. But, yeah, it is kind of shocking that CJ is 0-3. They definitely need to win a game. Nico Collins has way too much talent. That offense does have a lot of talent. Tennessee, they got the new young quarterback, the number 1 pick, not really doing much moving the ball, I'll be honest with you. I think Houston is the right side in this game, but we're not seeing too much, Alex. If you're going on a lower ticket count, it's about 3 to 1 in favor of Houston. Money is about 2.5 to 1. So I'll keep an eye on this game. I think we're going to have a lot of teasers and parlays on the Texans as we move forward and later into the week. Houston looks like the right side here, but 7 is a lot to lay on an 0-3 team, even though they're at home.
Let's go to the team that's actually leading the AFC South right now, the 3-0 Indianapolis Colts, as we all expected coming into the year, taking on the Rams. Rams should have won in Philadelphia last week. 2 blocked field goals end up being the difference. One very large man returning it for a touchdown is going to haunt my dreams probably the entire year now. Rams are
a
3.
Lot of people.
Yeah, I know I wasn't alone. I know I
there
wasn't
were a
alone.
lot of Ram backers.
Yeah. Rams are 3.5 here, Dwayne. What are you thinking? What are we looking at up at your shop right now?
3.5, like you said, Jeff, and we're seeing a slight ticket advantage on the Rams. This is a tough game to handicap just because Daniel Jones and Taylor have found the fountain of life. They're rejuvenated. They're playing fabulous and flawless football, but I think there is definitely, room for error as opposed to improvement. I think the Rams are going to dominate this game. I think they're going to be definitely PO'd after that last game. It leaves a foul taste in your mouth. They dominated most of that football game, but they let it slip through their fingers. Like I said, A.J. Brown had an excellent second half, which just destroyed them. 2 blocked field goals. They still have Devontae. They still got Puka. It's going to be tough to stop that offense, especially at SoFi. I like the Rams in this position. We're not seeing that much of a discrepancy, though, in ticket count, and money. So this is going to be a game that's bet both ways just because we have that extra hook on the game. And you're going to have a lot of Colt backers taking the 9.5, maybe even 10.5 on the teasers. So I anticipate great two-way action, but I kind of like the Rams in this spot.
You brought it up. The big AFC matchup here between the Ravens and the Chiefs, both of them 1-2 coming into this game. The Chiefs are a home dog. It looks like those 3s are disappearing now, though, Dwayne, and the total 48.5. What are you seeing from behind the counter?
Yeah, definitely the 3s are disappearing, Alex, because we're starting to get some buyback now. The Chiefs are definitely they could only get healthier. Let's put it that way. I mean, that was an easy test last week, but this is a totally different animal in the Ravens. Lamar has looked so fabulous, and for him to be 1-2 right now, it's shocking. I mean, he's been nearly perfect, and it's just been the defense that's been in question, and Derrick Henry actually fumbling the ball. So shocking to see him fumble the games away late in the fourth quarter. And I think it's the first time in his career that he's done that twice in consecutive games. So I expect the Ravens to improve. The Chiefs, they're still right there. They don't want to fall too far behind, like I said, from the Chargers and Denver. So this is a tough matchup to handicap, especially playing in Arrowhead. And the Ravens definitely are questioning their defense now. Harbaugh's got to make some adjustments. I think that he lacks a little in the coaching at this point of his career. And as long as the Chiefs stay within their mental capacity and don't fight on the sideline, Kelsey has to, rein himself in a little. You can't always be in your head coach's face and not perform. I like the Chiefs slightly in this game, but this is a great, great matchup. I like it at 3, like you said, better than 2.5.
All right, one last NFL game before we shift gears. I have to do it. I apologize. Sunday Night Football in Arlington as Micah Parsons returns to Dallas. Dwayne, the 7s are basically gone now. It's 6.5 on Green Bay coming off of that ridiculous loss in Cleveland last Sunday. Dallas got embarrassed by Chicago. 47.5 the total. What do we have here, Dwayne?
We have a big ticket count in favor of Green Bay, but not a money count. That's why you're seeing the 7s basically gone. 5-1 on the ticket count. Everybody's going to parlay and tease the Packers. But let's keep in mind, they looked horrible last week. I mean, this is what Matt LaFleur, you'd think they're the best team in the NFL, and then all of a sudden you're losing to Cleveland, not putting any points up, making a lot of mistakes. And Cleveland had massive opportunities to take the lead a lot earlier. Let's remember they were on the 3-yard line, took a 15-yard penalty, which, they're horrible. Coached. We know that just by the fact that Joe Flacco is out there each and every week. Back them up. All of a sudden, it's 3rd and 13, and Flacco's throwing a 3-yard pass. So I don't know what the Browns were trying to accomplish there, if they were trying to even win the game. But the Packers did not look good. The defense looked okay. Mike is going to be, geared up. We definitely know that. 2 tackles last week, 1.5 quarterback hits. Let's see if he could elevate his game against this mediocre Dallas offensive line. Horrible Dallas defense. They're going to make Love look great. I don't know. There's not many positives. CD is totally banged up. Secondary totally banged up. A lot of pressure on Pickens and Dak. Let's see if they could do it, but I doubt it. I mean, I think Jerry's going to be scowling the whole game as usual for the last 30 years.
Shifting over to some college football here, Dwayne. I have to start with tonight because we do have one game, not the best game, but Army taking on East Carolina. East Carolina did not look very good last week, but they're laying 4 here at home, total 52.5.
It's amazing, Alex. The ticket count is exactly the same on this game right now as we speak, but the money is definitely in favor of Army. East Carolina did look horrible last week, so, they're still laying 4 in this position. Kind of like Army, but I'm not going to go out on a limb. This is not an enamoring matchup. Total is 52.5. Not much action moving on that as well, so we'll see. I definitely think there'll be some teasers and parlays to the pro game and to the Saturday and Sunday games, but I have no opinion in this matchup.
Dwayne, this is a heck of a college football week, as good of one as there is all year long. And I'm going to start with a game that might actually be off the beaten path a little bit for some, not for me, and I don't think for the bettors. And that's in Fayetteville to kick off the day. Arkansas, who's lost 2 in a row, lost in ridiculous fashion last week to Memphis. Basically, the only thing I got right last week was that, Alex. The Hogs are down to 4.5 at home against Notre Dame. Both of these defenses have looked dreadful so far this year, and that's why the total's all the way up to 64 now, DC.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is going to be an offensive shootout, and it's shocking that Freeman hasn't done better with this Notre Dame team this year. It's down to 4.5. I can't back Arkansas. Ticket count is 2-1 in favor of Notre Dame, but the money is actually in favor of Arkansas. So this is like a crapshoot. I really, you're going to see a lot of scoring in this game, and you're going to see a lot of offensive mistakes, maybe some defensive scoring as well. So I would think Notre Dame will come out ahead just because of the way Arkansas has played in the last few weeks. They just look horrible.
All right, Dwayne, I got to ask you what you think about this Indiana-Iowa game. Indiana, I mean, they really flexed their muscles against Illinois last week, but this is not an easy place to play. We all know that. 8 points here for the Hawkeyes, total 48.
And Iowa doesn't give up much. You're right about that, Alex, definitely. But Indiana flexed on Illinois. That was monstrous. I can't find much wrong with this Indiana offense and this team right now. That's why you're actually seeing the total at 48. Despite playing in Iowa, you're getting over a touchdown, though, here. That's very, very important, in my opinion. This is one of the better matchups on the week. Ticket count is 4-1, Alex, in favor of Indiana. Naturally, the money is also at about 11-1. So we're getting plied with Indiana money here at the Rampart and South Point. Definitely we're going to need Iowa, but yeah, very difficult place to play, like you said, and they played Iowa State very tough in the rivalry game. I don't mind getting 8 points in this position, but Indiana scares me.
Dwayne, we go to what in normal weeks would not be the undercard, but this is the undercard in Oxford with LSU and Ole Miss, where both teams, LSU obviously a great first month, Ole Miss pummeled a really good group of 5 team in Tulane last week. Trinidad Chambliss has basically won the starting job in Oxford at Ole Miss now, and the Rebs are a 1.5 point favorite with a total of 55 in this one.
Yeah, tough matchup, without a doubt. Ticket count is almost even. I was talking to my boys in Baton Rouge just before this show, and, they're geared up. You know how it is. But Ole Miss is definitely a tough team, and 1.5, I think that's the right line. We're going to see great two-way action here as we are thus far, and leading up to game time, total of 55. I mean, we're seeing a little more over action. Money is actually 3-1 on that, on the over. So they're anticipating both teams putting the ball in the end zone. This is going to be a great SEC matchup. I'm really looking forward to this game. Currently, Ole Miss 1.5 at the Rampart and South Point. I'd like to back LSU and Kelly in this situation, but a tough matchup. Probably I'll lay off of it, maybe tease LSU a little. You get over a touchdown. That looks very appealing in this SEC hard-knocking matchup, Jeff. So maybe LSU, but very slight.
Dwayne, I'm pretty surprised by this Big Ten matchup. Not a lot of movement here, side or total. It's going to be a whiteout game here for James Franklin's team. Haven't been all that impressive yet to start the year, but now they get their opportunity. Oregon coming to town, getting 3.5 points, total 52.
Yeah, I know, Alex. Oregon, I mean, they're night and day, in my opinion. That's why they're getting 3.5 here. I'm not sold on them as of yet. Penn State looks like the real deal, but, they could definitely be upset. You're getting over a field goal in this matchup. Keep that in mind. And Penn State, though, at home, they're very difficult to stop. This is a coin flip matchup. Oregon, I think they were looking ahead last week, so I think we could anticipate a better performance. But, I still think Penn State is the better team in this matchup. 3.5 at the Rampart and South Point. Actually, ticket count is in favor of Oregon 2-1, but the money is slightly in favor of Penn State. So that's where you have the general public that is teasing Oregon up and betting parlays on Oregon, plus the 3.5, plus 9.5 on teasers, as opposed to the Sharks betting Penn State straight and, for significant money. And that's how usually these marquee matchups are, 3 versus 6, I believe this is. So, tough game for me, but I like Penn State in this matchup.
Dwayne, the other big one, Athens, Georgia. Alabama, Georgia. It's pretty amazing that Alabama, Georgia might not even be could very easily end up being like not even a top 5 game in this weekend. That's how good this weekend is. We're back to 3 now on the dogs. We saw some 2.5s pop very quickly, as Vinny would say, don't blink, and they're all gone. Right. 53 to total. What do you got? What do you got, Dwayne? Who do you like in this one?
Got a 7-1 ticket count on Georgia. I'll be honest with you. I don't know why it was at 2.5, to be honest with you. So, it's hard to like Alabama, especially after their start this season. I like Georgia in this matchup. I'll be honest with you. I'll lay 3 all day. I like it better at 2.5, but who doesn't? 7-1 ticket count, like I said, in this matchup. Total of 53. That could go. We're seeing over action. That's another 7-1 ticket count, but the money doesn't signify 7-1. The money doesn't signify also the 7-1 ticket count on Georgia. We're seeing some Alabama action now at +3, but I like Georgia in this matchup. I think this is an easy victory.
One last one. I just want to ask you because it's very rare that we see the number 1 team in the country less than double digits against an unranked, but Alex and I brought this game up earlier this week. This is a really weird spot for Ohio State, having to go basically as far as you can go in the Big Ten for them, up to Seattle against a Washington team that's looked really good against subpar competition. So in the season, it's 8 with a total of 52 in this one, with the Buckeyes laying it in Seattle.
Yeah, tough travel, like you said, Jeff. Definitely Washington has looked good, but against mediocre competition, I think they could step up their level in this game. We're seeing a 4-1 ticket count in favor of Ohio State, naturally, number 1 team in the country. But I definitely think that Washington has a chance here. You can't travel much further. There's nothing but ocean or Alaska if you want to go up north a little. So I think Washington has an excellent chance to get up for this game, keep it within a touchdown. I like Washington. I'll take the 8 points. But like I said, definitely seeing Ohio State money. The money is about 5-1. The ticket count, like I said, is slightly less than that. But I think Washington has a chance in this game. I think we're going to see some late Washington money. I think all the early action is going to go on Ohio State. May even get to 8.5. Maybe I would love to see 9. I would definitely take Washington then. But I think Washington has a chance in this matchup.
Before we let you go, of course, we have a request in the chat. If you have any horse picks for us.
Okay, Churchill Downs. Aqueduct looks like it's a quagmire. It's muddy and off today. I'm looking at it right now, Belmont at Aqueduct. So we're going to have to shift to Churchill Downs. My man, David Jacobson, he's got a nice horse here. Let me tell you, David is at 6 for 22 right now at the current Churchill meet. He is on fire. And if you guys listen to me, I'm always a David Jacobson advocate. You have to find him in the right spots. He moved his tack from New York now out to the Midwest. He's done that in the past 12 to, I would say, 16 months, and it's been such a successful turnaround. He owns 95% of his horses singularly as well. So you know this man wants to win. He's using Corey Lanerie in the 4th race today, number 10, Jay Rivers, taking the horse over from Arnaud Delacour, who is also an excellent conditioner. So there's not much room for improvement, but David has been pulling the string so well now. This horse has an 8-1 morning line. The only thing he has to do is overcome the post. If he draws in there today, we haven't gotten to scratches as of yet. Number 10 at Churchill Downs in the 4th race, Jay Rivers, David Jacobson, Corey Lanerie. Let's make some money, Alex.
There we go. Our good friend Dwayne Colucci, race and sportsbook director up at the Rampart. DC, pleasure as always. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you, guys, and enjoy your stay there up in Utah, Jeff.
Oh, I will. Don't worry.
There's not much to do there, is there?
Oh, it'll be.
Are you able to drink after 12 o'clock?
I will. We'll see. We'll see. Dwayne Colucci, everybody. Always the best, as we know here on Thursday.
You guys
mornings.
are the best. The best show on in America right here for sports betting, horse racing. I mean, time and time again, I can't tell everybody that if you're not listening to this show, you got to be out of your mind. I mean, especially Thursdays, Mondays, and Fridays. Monday, Chris gives you that awesome recap of the whole weekend. Thursday, we start to preview all the action for the Thursday night games, the Friday to Saturday, Sunday, unbelievable. And then Fridays, when you get Vinny in there, forget about it. You got tons of Italian opinions. I know Chris loves that. And we know we're telling you what we're booking, and we're not lying about it. The ticket counts are accurate. The money is accurate. And who else is providing that information for you guys? The other networks are still talking about Survivor contests and all this. Who cares about that? 18,000 entrants. It's the luck of the draw. Who cares about a Survivor? Not me. Maybe Alex does because she wins a lot of these contests. I love that, but not too many people care about that if you're not involved in it and you don't have a proxy and you're not doing it out of state. You want to know what singular games and where the action is. This is the show you listen to, the best period when it's regarding sports betting and horse racing, Sports by the Book.
Our guy, Dwayne Colucci. We'll see him again next Thursday. When we get back, baseball card, 4 days to go in Major League Baseball. Who's going to end up with that final slot in the National League? No one seems to want it. We'll talk about it next. Sports by the Book.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas, the South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Join Jeff Parles and Alex White.
One of my favorite plays here is getting 2 touchdowns with Florida State.
Even though the total's been batted down a little bit, I still think it's okay to go under.
Chris Andrews and Vinny Magliulo.
I don't think there's a great Kansas City team that the Chargers win this game.
All right.
If you see a hook here, it's not going to last long.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Are we sure either of these quarterbacks are good?
Hell no, we're not sure.
Bet your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming live on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
We're back in at Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. Happy to be with you here on a Thursday morning. As always, our good friend DC, Dwayne Colucci, just wrapped up with us. Also, Gone Racing comes your way later today, so be on the lookout for that at the Gone Racing YouTube page. All right, Alex, let's start and let's go to baseball. And we can actually start in Cincinnati because this game hasn't started yet because of a rain delay. So you still have time to get in if you want to hop in. Lodolo and Ashcraft here. Minus 165 on the Reds. The Reds have blown what is a really good opportunity here against the worst team in their division. If they'd won the last two games, they actually would have a chance to clinch tomorrow if they had handled their business. They don't. They need help now. I said it on Tuesday. These teams that are in this race aren't any good. And I see Cincinnati where, yeah, Lodolo is better than Ashcraft, but is it $1.65 better than Ashcraft? Probably not. No. It would only be a look to the Pirates, but I don't know. Did Cincinnati really get swept at home by the Pirates after looking as good as they did against the Cubs last week?
I was going to say, easy for you to say. They had to go up against Paul Skeens yesterday.
Well, they came back. They came back. They were 2-0 hole. They came back.
They did.
Got it in extra innings, had a chance to win it in extras multiple times and couldn't do it.
Yeah. But I was pretty shocked to see Paul Skeens go through 6.
He was great last night. Both guys were great last night again.
Yeah. So with that being said, Jeff, I agree. I mean, even if you're going to add in the factor what they're playing for and trying to avoid the sweep here against the Pirates, but I just think that price is too high. If anything, I would look to the over. I think 7.5 is also too low, but clearly we got some weather there with the delay. So pass for me on this one.
All right, up next, we go to Arizona. Boy, just a race of missed opportunities. After coming back from behind on Tuesday to win, Arizona came back, got it to extras, and they got through Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman with no run scoring. And I was like, well, it's over. Diamondbacks are going to find a way to get the bases loaded with one out, and they don't get them in. They lose in 11. Still a game behind the Mets in the NL wildcard standings. It's Yamamoto and boy, what a spot for Jalen Beeks here for the Diamondbacks. Minus 160 on LA. Dodgers with a win today clinch the NL West as well. So I don't know, Alex. I think at this rate you can't take anything full game with the Dodgers, at least at the moment, because that bullpen, guys who pitched the best out of the bullpen last night were Roki Sasaki and Clayton Kershaw.
Correct.
So Yamamoto, I wish Yamamoto's a little cheaper in the first 5 because that would probably be the way I look here.
I do think that Dave Roberts is going to continue to try different things like that leading up to the playoffs. So, I mean, I think the Dodgers is the correct side. Yamamoto, I mean, he had a small little stretch where he struggled a little bit, and now he has been top pitcher in the league again, and you can see his numbers right there. So I think they got the right guy on the mound today to finish this one and clinch. So minus 160, that feels like a pretty cheap price here for the Dodgers. Maybe I'll split my unit size, go Dodgers, and then go run line and a half, 1.5 here with the run line, take a shot, and see if he can keep it going and we can get a bullpen. But I think the Dodgers should have a big enough lead where we aren't too concerned with the bullpen at the end.
Well, look, hell. How big of a lead do they need? Like a 6-run lead, a 5-run? I mean, the Dodgers lead Major League Baseball in blown saves, and that if you cut that in half. I mean, they had 28 blown saves this year, including last night.
Jeez,
cut that in half. Yeah, they win some of the games, like probably tied with Milwaukee right now for the best record in the National League and best record in baseball. If their bullpen was just average as opposed to beyond bad. Which kind of makes me think that the Dodgers might might still be the deserved favorite to win the whole thing if they can throw those starters back in.
Yep.
Nothing here for me. It would only be Yamamoto in the first 5 if you're willing to stomach that price. All right, let's go to Philly. The Phillies are 2.5 behind Milwaukee. If they lose, the Brewers clinch the 1, the Phillies clinch the 2, and neither team will have anything to play for over the weekend. It's Junk against Buehler. Buehler's second start with Philadelphia, minus 160 on Walker, plus 145 on Junk, total of 9. Marlins are technically still alive here. They could win out and the Mets could lose out, which is definitely in play because the Marlins are playing the Mets this weekend. If you're looking at tiebreakers, Miami tied with Arizona. Would have to go deeper on that. And then against Cincinnati, they won the season series, so they would have the tiebreaker over the Reds and the Mets. But again, would need a ton of help. I think Philadelphia ends the nonsense here today. I do think the Phillies win. I just don't like laying that price with Walker Buehler, who's just not been good between Boston and here so far.
I just think it's got to be just humiliating for the Marlins in that loss yesterday, 11-1, and they were playing really good baseball, and then Philly, I'm very impressed with their lineup. I mean, everybody came up to bat and got a hit or a home run there. So Schwarber, Stott, we saw it from so many different players. I think they're playing their best ball. I think that they find a way to win this game as well. With Walker Buehler, I just think a change of scenery was good for him. He looked good in his first start. We'll see if he can do it here again against this Marlins team.
Again, Phillies, if they win today, they would have to sweep, and Milwaukee would have to be swept by the Reds, which would assuredly mean the Reds will have won the final wild card if that were to happen. So, again, it's a long shot for the Phils to get up to that number 1 seed. All right, now let's go to Chicago. Somehow, the Mets are still in control of their own destiny after getting blasted last night. They somehow get both the Reds and the Diamondbacks to lose in extra innings behind them. So if the Mets go 4-0 the last 4 days, the Mets will make the playoffs. That will likely not happen, but just saying. Nolan McLean, who has been by far the Mets' best pitcher the last 2 months, and maybe the only reliable starter left in the stable at this point, will go against Shota Imanaga, who's been up and down over the last few months. Mets, I thought it was crazy the way these first 2 games were priced in this series. I actually think this game is priced correctly tonight with McLean being a favorite, just because I think the Cubs are going to be really cautious with Imanaga. I don't see Imanaga going more than 5 innings in this game, unless if he's just super, super efficient, because they're going to need him next week to pitch game 3 of that wild card series. Maybe even, probably will be game 3. Well, maybe game 2. We don't know what Horton's back is at the current moment, where he left Tuesday's game with back stiffness. But I think the Cubs are going to be very cautious with Imanaga tonight. McLean has been awesome, even though he's lost his last 2 starts. It wasn't his fault that he did. I would lean to the Mets as a road favorite here tonight.
I'm with you. I think that McLean's still priced wrong. I still think he's priced as an just above average pitcher, and I think he's been elite for the Mets. Now I think he can get some run support. I mean, we saw the Mets put up 9 the other night, and this series feels like a back and forth, and I think it's a Mets spot here tonight. Not that I'm against Imanaga, because I do have him highly rated, but I'm with you. You said it. It's been very up and down, so I think this Mets team will be able to get to him. Yeah,
and also, too, the Cubs, well, if the Cubs win, they'll be in a scenario where they would have to get swept over the weekend, and the Padres would have to sweep Arizona to lose home field. But, again, it's going to be difficult for the Cubs to fall out of the 4 seed at this point. Council's already conservative with his pitching staff to begin with. I think be a short outing for Imanaga tonight, unless if he's really efficient. All right, well, we can be quick on this next one. Twins and Rangers, boy, wait, I still can't believe how badly the Rangers melted when they really were in the race, even just 2 weeks ago. Maley is minus 140 against Ober, plus 125. Is there anything really to even be had here?
Nothing for me here.
All right, easy enough. Let's go to Sacramento, where the flailing Houston Astros are. Boy, just last week, we were talking about, the Rangers have a shot to get back in this, and the Astros just stomped on them, swept them 3 straight. I was like, all right, well, Astros, Mariners, winner of that series is in the driver's seat. Either team sweeps, it's going to be over in the West. And by the way, I have no apology to be uttered on the Seattle Mariners, who clinched it last night. First division title since 2001. Congratulations to everyone who had tickets on that, and anyone who's a fan or involved with that team. You deserve it. That team, what a great close by Seattle in the month of September. And it's been the complete antithesis on the Houston side, who
Yep.
Look, I think the Astros are screwed at this point, realistically speaking. They need Detroit to continue to melt, which very well may happen the way it is going. But look, they don't have the tiebreaker on the Tigers. They don't have the Boston. They're 3 behind Boston at this point. They need help. More importantly, they got to win a baseball game. They're minus 115 today with Framber, and that just kind of tells you how bad of a funk it is that he's only minus 115 in this game, Alex.
No, I completely agree with that. I was pretty surprised to see that number. I mean, the Astros with Framber Valdez going should be a bigger favorite even when they're on the road. But do I really want to get involved here? Can we get one more under at Sacramento? I mean, they're 2-0 to the under so far, and JT Ginn has been very good for the Athletics. So I just think this number's too high at 9.5. That's the only way I'd play it here.
I can't really fault you, but we were kind of on it last night that I thought Hunter Brown was priced wrong. Like, he didn't pitch well last night. I am floored. For a Houston team, and I know the team is different than it's been, but you get Correa back at the deadline.
Right.
Like, I just kind of floored that they've melted in this fashion down the stretch. And the biggest beneficiary of that is the Detroit Tigers.
That's right.
Because the Detroit Tigers, and it's weird to say the Tigers are benefiting from anything at the current moment, but they'd be out of the playoffs right now if the Astros hadn't totally melted down over the last 5 days like they had.
And I'm fine with that. At this point, I mean, do the Astros deserve to be in the playoffs? Not that, I mean, the Tigers, I think they just let up a little bit, thought they had a big lead, and it just turned into a giant mess. And Cleveland, I mean, you got to give props to them for finding ways and now have that division lead right now. So I'm fine with how it is right now if it were to start. So
looking at this here tonight, by the way, just so we're aware on this with Detroit, if Cleveland wins tonight, Cleveland already has the season tiebreak. Cleveland will have a 2-game lead with 3 to go, and Detroit has to play in Boston, who still is playing for something over the weekend. The Tigers were 15.5 games up at one point during this year. As I mentioned yesterday, would be the biggest collapse in Major League Baseball history for a division if the Guardians come back and win this thing. And their favorite tonight with Messick, who's been awesome since coming up for the minors. And I don't know how you can get in front of this train right now if you want to bet Detroit at plus 125. I can't do it, Alex.
No.
Also, the Tigers were 84-62 after beating the Yankees on September 10th. 84-62. Since then, they are 1-11 in those 12 games, including 0-5 against Cleveland, with a chance to go to 0-6 here tonight.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm going to pass on this game for sure after watching the last two with the Tigers trying to beat the Guardians here. So pass for me.
I'm not doing anything. It would only be Cleveland. And again, the Tigers are fortunate that the Astros behind them haven't figured it out. Look, it's one thing to get swept by Seattle. It's another thing to go to Sacramento and look terrible in 2 games against the A's.
Terrible.
So we'll see. Plays out. All right. Last 4 games on the board. Yankees and White Sox. The Yankees have tied the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays still technically have the edge because of the season tiebreak, but boy, it's just a product of no one being really overly that good in Major League Baseball this year. Rodon is a gigantic favorite. He's $3 in this one, Alex. I'm not touching this, even though I think the Yankees continue their hot streak right now.
I do too, and I'm just bummed because they were a good plus price just 2 days ago, I believe. It was like plus 250 for them to win the division. And
they should be favored even without the tiebreak right now because they play the Orioles the last weekend of the season. The Yankees do.
I agree. And just like the Mariners, taking advantage of these lesser teams, and that's what they've done against the White Sox. And I think that continues, especially Carlos Rodon has been outstanding, especially at home. So it would only be a play on the Yankees.
Let's go to Toronto. Toronto and Boston. Varland and Bayo. Red Sox have taken the first 2, and really for the Red Sox sake, it's just all right, we're in great shape now. We're 3 games ahead of Houston entering today's action for the final wild card slot. They're in the 5-hole right now. Boston won the season series over the Astros, so it would take something really nuts for the Red Sox to miss the playoffs. It would also mean that Detroit has to win 3 straight games against them, which I'm not sure they're capable of at the current moment. But the Red Sox are in great shape to hold down that 5 seed in the AL and go to either one or two division rivals, which is not a bad spot to be. Look, Blue Jays, if they win their last 4, they will still get the 1 seed in the American League, regardless of how bad it has seemed over the last week. You win out, you still have the entire AL playoffs through Toronto. Varland goes, Bayo on the other side. It would only be a look to Boston at this price, right, Alex? Plus 125 on Bayo?
I like it a lot. I think Toronto's kind of going to throw everything at Boston in this spot because we got a primary, we got a starter, so they're just going to try and use as many arms as they can. And I like Boston, and I like Brian Bayo. I like him better at home on the season, but I still think he can pitch well here today. And Red Sox continue to hit, so I think they'll get some runs in today.
You have anything on the Royals and the Angels?
Nothing on the Royals and Angels.
Ferris and Lorenzen minus 110 on the Royals, total 9 for a meaningless game in Anaheim, and then Seattle. So got a few things going on here with the Mariners. Of course, they clinched the AL West last night, first time since 2001, but they're only a game behind both the Yankees and the Blue Jays for the 1 seed. Now, the issue Seattle has is the Jays and the Yankees both won the season series against them, so they would have to get 1 game clear of both of them, and the Yankees have 4 really easy games left. I would not mess up my rotation. I would just get everything in order.
Yeah.
If I'm Seattle, of course, they're going to get the bye at this point. Just get everything in order. It's undecided against Blaylock on the Rockies side. I actually would take a crack at the Rockies at 2-1 here. Maybe look for a better price if you can. Team after winning the division. Not even though, you're technically alive for the 1. Really not a lot to play for if you're really reading the tea leaves correctly. So I would actually take a stab at Colorado. I'd take a stab at them tonight.
Is this MVP race still alive? Yesterday was pretty crazy. Both of these guys and Schwarber. So you could parlay these here at the South Point, and a lot of them hit yesterday.
Well, it's a pick. It's a pick right now. I still think Judge should win it. He's been better in every other category other than homers and RBI.
I think I'm on the other side now.
It's just with the way Seattle, like Raleigh plays the most difficult position in the sport. He hasn't missed any time. Judge missed about 3 weeks. It's really close. It's real. Like, I can't quibble either way. If I had to vote, I would vote for Judge. But if Raleigh wins, I'm not going to be upset. Not going to be upset. I mean, dude hit 60 overs.
I know. I think if I had to vote, I'd vote for Cal Raleigh right now. Just, I mean, the position and 4th person to hit 60 home runs in the AL. Just, 1 of 4 for over 50 on the year. It's pretty amazing. And switch hitter, so... But I totally get it. I mean, Aaron Judge is a...
It's a coin flip for a reason.
Yeah.
We'll see what the voters do. Again, we're with the voters. Coin flip, right? On this one.
Yeah.
All right. We'll let you get your whiteboard settled here. We won't take a break because we got to vacate for Gone Racing coming up in a little bit. But we do have, actually, you know what? I'll hold this bottle real quick because Gone Racing, of course, our great NASCAR show. And as you see on the bottle, our guy, Joey Logano, of course, the winner of the South Point 400 a year ago here in Las Vegas. We're only 2 weeks away from the South Point South Point 400 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway here in town up north. A lot of fun to go up there if you've never been. The Joey Logano edition of City Lights Shine, available here at the South Point. Multiple flavors, also available with the slot promotion here this month. This is caramel apple in front of me. Alex's strawberry banana in front of her. And Ticker Trivia, of course, is brought to you by that. On this day in 1979, the Angels went to the postseason for the first time in franchise history, clinching the AL West. Which player won the AL MVP that year for the Angels? And that, of course, was power-hitting Don Baylor. Played in all 162 games, DH and outfielder. Led the Angels to the playoffs. They fell short against the Orioles that season. But Baylor, big year, 36 homers, 139 driven in, 120 runs. Great year for Baylor in Route 2 at the time, win the MVP for the California Angels in 1979. All right, and we had a poll question too. Which prop that's over 2-1 tonight would you like most to have in your pocket? Seahawks -7.5 plus 260s, the winner at
Wow.
38%. Cardinals we're at laying 7.5 on an alt line at 3-1. Either team to score a defensive or special teams touchdown at plus 240, or no score in the last 2 minutes of the first half at plus 230. At 33% finished second, which just makes me question how sharp our listeners are if that was the second choice in that one.
Which one was the second choice?
The no score in the last 2 minutes of the first half, which you and I both know is always priced that way for a reason that most games have.
Yes.
And close to about 65% of them have that. All right, Alex White, what do we got here on a best bet?
So I like the full game under, but I am a little nervous that we're going to get some fourth quarter craziness. So I'm going with just the first half. I'm going under. I'm actually taking a juice 22. I saw -130. That's the way I'm going to play it. But for reasons that some people just bet the South Point numbers, I'm going first half under 21 here between these two. I really do think defenses are going to show up. I'm also going under with the Athletics and the Astros under 9.5. I think it's going to be a low scoring game with Valdez and Ginn on the bump. And then I'm taking a shot with the Red Sox and Bayo plus 125 on the road against Toronto.
There we go. Next to last series for all these teams in baseball. Wrapping up today, down to 3 across the board in baseball. Big football weekend coming ahead. By the way, so Alex has you covered tomorrow on not only the 10 a.m. show, but Football Frenzy on a Friday. It'll be Alex, Vinny, and Chris. As Dwayne said, I gotta book it up to Utah this weekend for a wedding and some other things. But Alex, I'll just say, of the big games, I like Penn State because I feel like no one's on Penn State this week.
Minus a 3.5.
Yep.
The spread.
Later 3.5. Yep. I like Georgia, which honestly may mean I'm doing a Penn State Georgia money line parlay. And I like Ole Miss a whole lot against LSU. You'll have all your plays tomorrow as well. Also, Virginia's going to cover tomorrow against Florida State. They're not going to win, but they're going to cover the 7 points. All right. Gone Racing comes your way later today. Be on the lookout for that. Jeff Motley, Brendan Gahn, get you ready for this upcoming weekend in NASCAR. I'm Jeff Parles. She's Alex White. Great job by our guy, Ryan McCormick, Drew Dogg, and Sean, and Ann, and Vince, as always. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, same time, 10 a.m. for this show. Football Frenzy on a Friday at noon on the Sports by the Book channel. See you then.